Welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of the Lost Podcast of Titan, a father and son journey through sci-fi series that unite our generations, where we just, watch stuff, commentate on it, tangent, get on thought discussions, probably sometimes better than what's on the screen, most of the time not. Stealing your snacks, raiding your pantry, gargling your drinks, complaining about your decor on the walls. We're just lovely people.
Running up your phone bill.
I don't think that's possible anymore. We don't have long distance charges. It's just a flat. Well, it's not really a flat bill, but it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, running up your pains of the ass.
Oh, that we do. Yes. We are the reason why you get the extra stink Excedrin. So today, ladies and gentlemen, as per our usual want, we take a small break from Star Trek, the original series, and we decide to watch a movie that, quote unquote, unites our generations. And today we decided to go back to that classic 1953 film, The War of the Worlds.
The watchable version.
I could see the case for a modern adaptation of The War of the Worlds. It's just, can it not be Steven Spielberg? Can it not be Tom Cruise? Can it not be the Martians were already here the entire time? Can we get rid of the little girl?
Please.
Put her in the bag that gets pureed, whatever.
I was hoping for her to get zapped. Maybe one of the first persons getting zapped. I know that sounds cruel, but small children in the hands of Steven Spielberg, there should be some kind of law.
Child labor laws, definitely.
Yeah. Does the director come to your mind who you would have preferred to do a modern adaptation? Just off the top of your head.
Well, I want to see Tarantino's version.
Ooh.
But if I want to, who would I really want though? Villeneuve, because I really like what he did with Blade Runner, and I'm hoping I like what he does with Dune. So I would be interested to see where he would take this.
Okay.
Or if you want to go with a more kind of an actiony not pulp, but you get David Gunn.
Oh, okay. I like that one. Now, Albert Hitchcock, very early, I think somewhere around the late 30s, had considered making The War of the Worlds, but he didn't get around to it.
Oh, Albert Hitchcock, War of the Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, he's not usually known for his spectacular action scenes or anything like that, but it does sort of tickle the imagination.
Has he even done a sci-fi film before?
I think the closest he came to was The Birds, which is more of a monster.
That is not a sci-fi.
Well, more of a monster movie.
It's also not even a monster film. I'm sorry.
Well, that's as close as he...
Get some buckshot in your shotgun, like... Oh no, help. The birds. Whatever. I'm just going to walk into my house and close the door. And read the newspaper with some mild concern. Help. Help. The birds. Dear, please draw the curtain. The birds are here. Son, did you see any birds on your way to school? Yes, Papa. Ah, very good. Did the bus roll over them? Yes, they did, Papa. Ah, very good.
Were you singing that annoying little song in your school that was probably what led the birds to start attacking in the first place?
And did you go back into the school and close the door? Yes, we did, Papa. Very good.
Run in credits.
An arrogant bastard, cynical son production.
There you go. If you ever start a film production company, I would suggest using that as the brand name.
Arrogant bastard, cynical son. Lord. Instead of a lion, I have Harlan Ellison going on a rant. It has the same frame. It has the same frame around him. And it has the same fanfare, like dun 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 dun. Fuck all of you people. Pay the fucking rent. Walking back and forth.
Well, get your films noticed.
Yes, it would. Yes. But anyway, so, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to get the 1953 version of the War of the Worlds
Yes,
on
don't
your
act.
favorite physical media or streaming device, put us on pause and get to that 00 mark. And you can just come back to us when you're ready.
Yes, and don't come back and yell at us if you should accidentally buy the Tom Cruise Steven Spielberg version.
Well, to be fair, I did like the fact that they were tripods.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
I liked the communication that they had. Like the sound of the horns was kind of disconcerting and visceral. I really liked that.
That scene,
I liked how they were using the people as food, like graphically, but
the scene in the small town while everyone was trying to get onto the ferry.
yeah.
That stands out for me.
And just don't have them already here on Earth, as it makes no fucking sense.
No, it doesn't.
Popping up from cities that did what? Infrastructure. What does that entail? Digging into the ground. Where were they? Under the Jesus fucking Christ. These people.
No one noticed hidden Martians when they were laying the streets or down the streets or building the church or anything like that.
Exactly. It's just stupid.
It's lazy.
Yeah. But welcome back. So we'll go ahead and get this show started in 3, 2, 1, play. Speaking of fanfare.
Yes.
Oh, I remember the newsreels. Yes. Holy fuck. This is actually one of the best openings I remember as a young child and probably today. Because it's so fast paced. It's like, fuck you, World War One. Fuck you, World War Two. Fuck you, War of the Worlds. Ah! People go nuts.
There you go. Jump into it. None of this long, thoughtful silences.
Also, what the fuck is super science?
Something to impress the 1950s audiences.
I guess, yeah. Oh, wait. Can I get... How do I...
Oh, you want to get rid
How
of
do
the...
There, okay. I accidentally had the X-ray on for some reason.
And there's your whole cast right there on this one screen.
Oh, hey, Sir Cedric Hardwicke is the one providing the vocals. Awesome. Good job, Mr. Barnes.
Very good job, Mr. Nozaki.
Hey. Easy on the epileptic seizures. Good job, Leith Stevens. Okay, all right.
Exactly. You guys, you're aces. Good job on the Chesley Bonestell art. Yay!
Boo!
Yay!
Boo! Damn, I can't move my mouse at all or it pulls everything back up. Okay. This is what I get for not planning ahead and putting it somewhere out of the way. So, okay, their planet is dead, naturally, and they look to our Earth with envious eyes. But you would think if it's this advanced, they could have like synthesized what they need, or just like there's ice in the asteroid belt, for Christ's sake.
Yes, and the polar ice caps.
Exactly.
Okay, and you're watching this sequence. Keep in mind that all this was based on what was then considered current scientific gospel back in the early 50s.
Well, if you light the methane on fire, it'll warm up the planet. So they didn't know about Titan.
No.
Okay, all right.
This was where they really messed up, but but it still gives us this nice schmoozy piece of Monostel artwork.
Yeah. Looks like a giant ass blister on the fucking surface of Mercury.
You'll notice that Venus was conspicuously absent from this dissertation.
Because it was very obvious they could have. Well, maybe. I remember there was. I forget where I read it. I think it was a sci fi story, probably. But part of the general world, I guess, was that there was a run between Mars and Venus of these massive atmosphere ships. So what they would do is they would go to Venus, grab the CO2, and then ship back to Mars and pump the CO2 onto Mars. So basically you're cooling down Venus and you're warming up Mars. Basically 2 planets for the price of 1. And I forget where exactly it was. But it was an interesting enough concept. Also, like, these people would have seen meteorites before.
Not that big.
Oh. This is back when government agents were supposed to be competent.
And dishonest.
Oh, hey. What the fuck? It's just a friendly game. What are you doing? He is just not using that fire hose at all.
Well, it's not much of a
spray.
It's not much of a fire truck.
But he's also moving away from a fire. It's still on. Keep spraying. Turn around. There's still a fire. Turn around. There is still a... And you're walking past it. Fuck you. Oh, my God.
He's got his 8 hours in. It's Miller time.
You can't even get out one fire that you were spraying at.
You think they're scientists?
Well, they were dressed as scientist outfits and talking technobabble as they were going up and down the trails. Also, wait, why is there a plane in the background?
They brought down some of their equipment by plane. We need the plane later on, as you'll see.
Yeah, but it's in the middle of the forest.
Well, someone had a...
How's it going to take off?
Same way it landed?
What's in front of it? I rest my case. And I just want to dig into whatever's on that table.
Fried fish, mostly. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we do love this film dearly.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
I can't...
Did I tell you you could have a cigarette? He just reached into the guy's pockets like yoink.
Whoa.
I wonder what's actually burning on it.
Good question.
Also, if those kids fell off the edge, they would just ride right up to the side of it and be burned.
Selfies.
It's really safe.
Selfies, the early years.
That's why they get a hammer and chisel.
You hope. Oh boy.
Listen, that sounds delicious.
It sounds delicious, but I mean, let's get our ethnic stereotypes out of the way early on.
And they're just going to let him whack it
Yeah.
with a shovel.
Sure.
No. And hello.
Hello. Miss knows how to work a blouse.
Oh, she's smoking, and now she's less attractive. Lace high.
That's right.
I wonder if his name is Buck. Dude, what is your plan? What are you doing? Like, I've had that desire, that urge to, poke at something. But not this.
Not a meteorite freshly dropped out of the sky.
Exactly. That turns her on, apparently. Goddamn. See, 1950s movies lied to us. I've tried to pitch woo by doing, gravity burns and a Hoffman transfer from our planet to the moon, but no.
Didn't work.
Not even a wiggle. Library science.
Yes, I had. Sometimes I regret not having pursued a degree in that myself.
Yes, because there's such a high demand for people who have library science degrees. They would throw jobs at you.
Very clever.
I'm sorry. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
It's like the last 30 years we are just not allowed to take any extracurricular activities if we want to have any kind of life. Oh yeah, I forget. He's gonna die. It's a bomb.
Well, if it was any of your freaking business.
And we're all dead.
Well, someone might especially want to go and tell Buck.
His shovel is also radioactive too.
Oh, and we got to do it for ourselves. We won't take the scientist's word for it.
No, this is America. Wait. The Geiger counter box is a conspiracy by Big Pharma,
That's right.
who's under control by the lizard people to keep people away from their eggs, which look like meteorites. Like we said, they don't do much of anything.
Well, the movie theater was showing Samson and Delilah. We were taught square dancing in elementary school.
We were too. I mean, I think it was required Texas education.
That is one really well guarded meteor.
And the thing is, I understand it would be nice to have someone yelling at you what to do. It takes some of the pressure off, but I have no idea what they're asking me to do.
And do they have some way of contacting the authorities if something should, God forbid, happen?
Yeah, they had the radio. Don't they have a radio?
No.
I'm fairly certain. Or maybe they just going to run off. See, this is when I would be running.
Yes, thank you.
Like, no, I'm not here for this. I'm here to watch it cool down. Maybe have some enchiladas and fajitas.
And hot dogs.
Eat some good fried fish. And ice cream. Okay. I had a very bad feeling that I wasn't recording. I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, how do you know, Dr. Sagan?
Well, I mean, if it's unscrewing, I think that rules it out.
Well, yeah. Oh.
What is that on the plate?
Sandwich?
It requires 2 slices of bread.
When I first saw this movie, it was on a black and white TV. But if you, I'm going to suggest if you ever get a chance, watch this in black and white. The black, especially if you got a good, sharp, clear copy, the black and white just really makes this much more eerie.
I can see that. Yeah.
Not that this is bad. I mean, once again, this is the point where I would be rapidly backing away. This was all designed by Albert Nozaki, and he had sort of a directive to make this whole thing as sinister as possible.
He did, like, it looks like an evil fucking or a cobra actually, because it's got that flared head.
That's the effect he was working for.
Yeah. Yes, it does. This is America. America. If they don't look like us, they're commies. From the red planet. Wait a minute. It's
Hey, well, now we found out the genius of the group.
yeah, really.
Oh,
Old sugar sack.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. I hate to say this, but sometimes you just need to throw some chlorine tablets into the gene pool and just let it sort itself out.
This is an actual recreation of a scene from the original novel, and it's not going to work as well here as it did there. Sound effects for this film are incredible.
Oh God, yes, yes. I wasn't joking earlier. Like, you cannot mistake what the sound is. Also, what if waving a white flag is the equivalent of we're declaring war and your mother's a whore?
Thank you. You don't want them to open up. No.
No, that's not what that means. That is really not what it means.
It doesn't look friendly. It doesn't sound friendly.
Also, why did the power go out?
You'll see briefly later on blowback the beam was wide enough to take out some power lines.
Oh, okay, got it.
But it did do one good function. It stopped the music.
Is that a pot of melted chocolate? Get out of my way.
God.
The world's going to end in 7 days. I'm just going to have some melted chocolate. Oh, that reminds me. We went to a wedding once, many, many years ago. I may have just been into my double-digit age brackets, and I couldn't have that much. But like they had this melted chocolate that was the richest chocolate I had ever tasted.
Oh.
And I'm kind of upset that I don't know what it was or how it got that way.
Jeepers.
Mm-hmm.
Jinkies.
If you have a recipe for really rich melted chocolate, ladies and gentlemen, please be sure to send us an email at lostpodcastoftitan@gmail.com. Also Facebook and Twitter. Yeah, there we go. Why are you doing it twice? Why are you doing it 3 times?
He wants to convince the rubes that the watches are magnetized.
Also, so it's amazing no one in this room has a pacemaker.
Yes.
Oh, wait, no. Were pacemakers invented back then? It was 1953. It might have been just the edge of it.
I don't think we have pacemakers per se back then.
Or if they exist, it's like still something very new.
Oh, here comes the small town popo. Not exactly the sort of thing you want to see in California.
Don't remind me. Do not remind me. That was not a fun few weeks. It's like, la-di-da, oh look, it's fog, but the fog is made of ash, and I have to go to work. La-di-da. Ho-hum.
Yeah, see,
another day in the life of California.
They're the down power lines with more fire.
And I'm not even worried about y'all figuring out where I live, because that was all of California. It wasn't unique. I love how they're perfectly outlined.
Yes. They made ashes of themselves.
Ha, 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 ha. Also, okay, help me. Did the police cars actually have a giant block declaring themselves police on top of them?
Some did.
Ah, okay.
And they just now noticed that thing.
Maybe it popped up.
Thus perish all cowards.
So now they have to walk back to town.
Yeah.
Yes, he said Gizmo. You are the authorities.
Now, these scenes were filmed outside of Phoenix, Arizona. The production crew found out that the area National Guard was going to be holding maneuvers, and so they decided to pack up some film gear and the actors and went out there and had a nice chat with the National Guard personnel who agreed to let them, borrow the soldiers and such for this scene.
And this is why we go from a forest to a desert?
Well, it doesn't look quite like a desert, but yeah.
No, that looked like a desert. I can tell because of the sand, you see. And the fact that the trees had no leaves. Also, I'm always impressed how in these type of films, they just have to get word to authorities. That's it, and suddenly the entire army is there. Tanks, anti-aircraft cannons, support personnel, everything, just on the basis of some hick sheriff being like, "Yo, there's a down meteor with a gizmo, and that gizmo breathes fire."
You remember Tarantula? Of course you do.
Yes.
When
yes.
when the sheriff of the small town is having to call the Air Force and tell them that there's a 60-foot tall tarantula, could you please come on and napalm it?
And they're like, "Sure. I mean, we got napalm. I mean.
Wouldn't you have liked to have been listening on that conversation?
What if a sheriff actually has the right to napalm something?
Well, these days I would imagine maybe, but
America. For our international audience, this is mostly satire and mostly not, and that's the scary thing, okay? America. And there's a job right there. Like there's a cadence missing from newscasters these days that I miss from the earlier newscasters here.
yeah. No, the first guys on Earth have been incinerated. You're a bit late.
Nope, nope, we're gone. Ladies and gentlemen, it's firing and we're leaving.
Yes, don't annoy the aliens.
Pretty much.
Tragedy.
Now, I will say this about the Spielberg version. It did a better job, I think, of the heat ray being used just indiscriminately swiping away. Like, it really felt like the people were just inconvenient rodents and pests that they were just sort of exterminating. Whereas here it feels less like that, but they feel also more unstoppable. So
Yeah. See, if the studio had gone to the trouble of using all their stock army gear and such, then it would have brought the price of the movie up considerably.
well, we're back on the forest set.
Yeah.
Cinnamon rolls, donuts, and coffee. And she's a nurse. She's a woman of many talents. God damn.
Well, Red Cross volunteer anyway. Words to live by.
Oh, wait. No, she's bringing it into the giant tent. I thought she was bringing the whole thing into his tent. I was like, God damn, dude.
Gee, thanks, sir.
We'll just get some asbestos suits. Breathe in deep. Nothing will come. Nothing will be amiss with that. Also, my dude, why are you continually unplugging and plugging in wires?
Yeah, a good observation.
Like, I understand if you're an operator that is something you need to do, but this, you're just setting up communication lines. All it has to be is set it and forget it. He isn't going to make a call down to the local podunk sheriff. And why is the parson here?
Civilian affairs.
No.
He came to tell the army people that they've evacuated the people.
Oh, okay.
There's Les Tremayne as General Mann. Les Tremayne was a standard stock actor whenever they needed someone who looked professionally military.
General Man.
Yeah.
I can't tell if that's clever or stupid. Because, I mean, General Man, and this is the first real military encounter, and it's going to be very one-sided. So, it could be clever. I'm still chewing on it. The redhead? Yes, she brought coffee and donuts.
Boom, boom.
We're thinking about making her a yeoman.
Notice no one says anything about Russia or China.
No one gives a shit.
True.
Like, if I recall correctly, this is, dead in the Cold War, so fuck Russia. And China, I think, also went full commie by then, so fuck China. Also, I really like how we took a story originally set in London and have moved it into the United States.
Yes. Means they were all killed.
I know, yeah. Wait, okay, so that was the original pilot ship that they're at right now, but there are already some that are out and just destroying everything.
Apparently the destruction is starting. They want to try their military response with this one because it was the first one that arrived, and would be.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is why this one is taking so long to get out of their shell.
That's true. Maybe they're still adjusting to terrestrial gravity, or maybe the attacks by the other Martians is simply the heat ray poking its schnoz out of the meteor.
That's true. Okay, that could work. Like if it came down in a populated area,
Yeah.
it would probably just immediately just start, blasting everything. So, okay, yeah. Also, I'm surprised they haven't tried dropping a bomb from, high altitude. I mean, not like the A bomb will come later. I'm talking about just a regular B-25 standard ordnance.
Well, they're gonna.
Like, what if they tried to hit the machines while they were still in their casing?
Well, these were the same guys who swept up Europe getting rid of the Nazis. They figured it was good enough for the Nazis. It's good enough for these bugs. Yeah, something's about to happen. You can see a wire.
Oh, hey, you think the Martians are analogous to the Nazis since they're trying to, wipe out all humanity for their race, so to speak, air quotes?
Possibly.
And they have super machines, kind of like the Nazis?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm just realizing this, so I feel really clever.
And if the heat ray was not menacing enough, this really is the icing on the cake.
Fuck this shit.
I mean, that's got trouble written all over it.
Now, okay, fun fact, and this is just really for Papa. So remember the original copy we had of this was on that RCA magnetic disc thing?
Yes.
And that's how I used to watch it. That copy was so poor that the magnetic flux legs never showed up. So I thought they were fucking insane talking about this thing that clearly was not there.
Yeah, well, after this particular scene, you won't see them anymore. It was just an attempt at producing, quote, legs, unquote, that didn't really work out.
Well, no, I mean, I was looking for it at this scene.
Yeah.
When they were brought up.
Okay. We've tried communicating with them, and they were left little patches of ash.
Mm-hmm.
He is supposed to be a milder interpretation of the character of the curate from the original novel.
It's kind of sad. I'm actually more familiar with. God damn it, Jeff Wayne's
Jeff Wayne's
War of the World.
Yes.
Yeah, that one. Farewell, thunder, Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to rock out to some really weird shit, feel free to listen to Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds, or if you can find it, there's also this really awesome remix album that is also badass. So, there you go. My gift, me to you. Happy holidays. That's a mistake.
Okay, yeah, we could open up a whole theological can of worms here, but he is so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was called Waving a White Flag.
Well, they don't know that.
Listen to the nice niece.
Blush, blush.
Really. Oh, Lord, and that look on his face just tells it all.
But I'm a strong, independent woman with a library science degree, and I'm going to get a big job and support myself on $20 a week. And have to pay for my own supplies.
And take the
Deal
bus.
with little snot brats.
And take the
Wait,
bus.
oh my god! I just saw the wires carrying the fucking things.
Yeah, sometimes there's an argument to be made against clarifying the copies.
I really think it actually should be a. Oh Jesus! I forgot about this. This is the 1950s sci-fi horror film, so we have to have the hysterical woman. Yep, there's the wire right there. Another wire there. Oh Jesus! So here's the thought. Okay, so if you're going to clean up a copy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wires. If you're going to clean up a copy, do you go through the effort of digitally removing the wires, or in the vision of trying to keep how it was originally, you leave the wires in?
This has been described as the best 15 minutes of Technicolor ever made.
Yep, I can believe it. Because, like, fuck this shit.
Those were glass domes that were superimposed onto the Martian machines. They didn't try and custom build glass domes to match the size of the model, which I should point out was considerable.
Yeah.
Effective as heck, too. Nice effect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've seen enough. Maybe we should start leaving?
Oh, nope, time to go. Time to go.
The heat rays are acetylene torch flames superimposed into place. The disintegrator beams are naturally just animation, but with some pretty schmoozy sound effects backing them up.
Yeah, and I think these were also just blatantly copied through several films.
Oh, yes.
So here's a question. Do you want to be heat rayed or disintegrated?
I want to be in the Pentagon looking at some maps and saying, well, this isn't working. Oh, thanks.
We're not holding shit.
Really?
Because that was what was so freaky to me even as a kid. It was just, we're firing all the firepower, you know, bombs, guns, all kinds of shit. And they're not even moving fast.
No, these are really
approaching.
slow attackers.
Yes, yes, I know. I touched the mouse. How dare I? God damn. But it's the same thing as the concept of the zombies. You
Yes.
know how they're slowly shambling towards you. They don't stop.
And see, they're not even bothering to try and hit people anymore. They're just scattering those who are left.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, of course,
See, that was a good shot right there.
Yes, it was.
Oh, what do they call it? This is a retrograde advance.
And that's why you needed the airplane that we spotted.
Yes, and the Martians had actually conveniently cleared away all the trees, but left the plane.
I think the Air
Also, you
Force.
don't want to be higher; you'd be a target.
I think the Air Force can differentiate between a terrestrial airplane and the Martians.
Why are you flying towards them?
I think those were
Kind
from
of okay.
those were from the other cylinder.
Oh, I guess. Okay, all right.
Otherwise, I would have been with you. They say this guy may be a pilot, but he's no navigator.
Are we sure he's actually a scientist?
My Amma. I have listened to more than my fair watched more than my fair share of motion pictures, and I have never heard the town name Miami pronounced in quite
Miami?
Miami.
Also, I appreciate the fact that they gave the news crier job to an old woman knitting rather than a little young snot.
And she seemed remarkably calm, but then again, if she's been selling newspapers for quite a while, she was probably selling newspapers during World War II. Huh! Not nearly enough.
Oh dear.
You're doing a sucky job.
God damn.
Yeah. Ah, there you go with your bombers.
Okay. Okay.
You feel better now.
I do. We are so screwed.
Really.
The Navy stands by to just float around, I guess.
Yes.
What are the cowboys doing?
Would have been nice if they had inserted a shot of a snail slow crawling as fast as possible across the grass. He just realized he spent most of the film so far wearing that square dance gear.
Which makes him a giant target. If the only thing Martians hate more than humans is square dancing humans.
I can actually go along with that. Gene Barry, ladies and gentlemen, who had been in several television series before he switched over to movies and returned to television in the 60s. He's played...
Holy shit, he's been in other movies and films and television?
Yeah.
This isn't his only gig?
That's right, this is not his only gig. He was Bat Masterson, and he was also Amos Burke. And then later on, one of the three actors in the series The Name of the Game.
Shut up.
And Ann Robinson, who mainly did a lot of television work. And if screaming females in movies kind of rub you the wrong way, they sort of do me as well. She's not nearly as bad as, say, Jeanette Scott in films like Cracking the World. I mean, every third line she had was some hysterical scream.
The thing is like I've known a few women in my day. None of them have been this hysterical.
Well, let's be honest. How many women have we known who ended up in the Martian invasion?
Oh, let me see. Hold on. That was invasion from Venus, but not Mars.
Oh, okay. I forget you've been around more than I have. We're really just stretching things
Really?
here.
He's supposed to be a scientist. He could just be honest and say, yeah, we're probably fucked. Pass the eggs.
Get your biscuits in the oven and your buns into bed.
The musical Lost Podcast of Tight. Oh, this movie sucks. Ba-da-ba-da-da. This movie sucks. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. We want to take it out on a truck and burn it in a hill. Burn it in a hill. See, this is the part of the movie where I would normally just skip, skip.
Or make a potty break or something.
This is where we raid your fridge. So, what snacks do you like to eat, ladies and gentlemen? Let us know. lostpodcastattight@gmail.com.
Well, fortunately for us, this scene is about to end on an abrupt note.
Yeah, but I even skipped that part. Because they're just hanging out. Trying to keep the woman from screaming. Which is very, very fascinating and exciting, yes. So also, they have 3 separate meteors in Podunk, wherever the fuck this is supposed to be. 4 separate meteors in Podunk, wherever the fuck this is supposed to be.
Well, I guess they're trying to get as close to Los Angeles as possible, or maybe everyone else is also getting more than one meteor. And right now, she's thinking that maybe a relationship with this guy wouldn't be much of an investment because no matter where he takes me, I end up in front of Martians.
What if he's inadvertently like a homing beacon?
Yeah, the Martians have read his articles.
No, wait. He's a nuclear scientist, right?
Yes.
What if he has trace amounts of radiation, blah 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 blah. So the Martians are actually homing in on that.
Oh, good point.
And I'm also confused why it didn't just torch everything and move on. But now it just does I'm going to rectally probe this thing here.
Well, maybe they're thinking, well, here's an opportunity to concentrate on a little reconnaissance work and exploration, and then we'll torch it. I'll bet right now both of them could use a change of underpants. Yeah, there we go. Let's shine a flashlight around.
Especially since it sucks. All right, so help me out. I may be misremembering something. Wasn't there a TV series / sequel to this?
Yes, unfortunately. But
And
since their budget was way the hell limited, they couldn't maintain the pace of the first episode, which was about the only place you saw the original Martian war machines. So the television series quickly devolved into Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
and did but the thing is that didn't they lock up all of the parts and try and convince everyone it was like a dream or something?
I remember the explanation well. Unfortunately, they had 3 war machines in a big warehouse, sort of like the same thing at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. And the lead character, who played this character's son, um, played by Jared Martin. I'm surprised I remember that. He'd explained that this original Martian invasion was so traumatic that it wiped people's memories immediately after.
But they couldn't get any technology from the war machines?
No.
That's just bullshit.
Well, also, when you see the end of this movie, you see evidence of all the colossal damage the Martians produced. And I always been thinking, wait, and and the human minds were just going to wipe all this memory out?
Well, apparently, okay, so I have a love of conspiracy theories, for good or for ill. And there's actually something called the Great Mud Flood. Have you ever heard of this?
No, but I suspect I'm about to.
Yes. So the Great Mud Flood is, as it suggests, a flood of mud that basically buries the first several stories of some major cities. And there's no memory or record of this. Their only evidence is that they'll go to a modern day. I don't know why the alien was walking backwards. Uh, they'll do the modern day picture and then a picture from the 1800s, and there is very clearly like the ground level has been raised up. So their only explanation was a great mud flood that has somehow traumatized people and they don't remember it or have written it down, but there is photographic evidence of it.
Oh, going back quickly to your earlier question about why the Martian was walking backwards, they had a great deal of trouble with that Martian costume. They could only, I mean, it was practically falling apart while they were filming these scenes. So they had to be had to, film as catch can, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
She is just not having a good time, is she?
Also, they broke it, but it's going to be intact later on.
He's done more damage to the Martian war machines than the entire armed forces.
Also, you would think the one on the ship, if there is one on the ship, would have mentioned, "Hey, guy, they have an axe. You might want to come back up. We'll just torch it." But he's like, "No, I'm just gonna, come along here."
I will conquer them with my superior physical appearance and ability.
Mm-hmm. And what was the point of this?
To scare the daylights out of the audience.
Pussy. But I'm very confused. What was it trying to do?
I don't know. I'm actually surprised it could move around as much as it did, considering the differences in gravity. She doesn't want that back.
Come on, stop, stop, stop.
Don't worry, they must have mortal weaknesses.
That's right. We shall show them the truth and the power of love.
They've got mortal weaknesses, plus I eat Ray in a disintegrator. Well, she sure got over that quickly.
Yeah, because, I mean, maybe it's us listening to Star Trek, but it has a lot more stronger women than this is obvious, and it's not that far previous either.
Well,
It's only
amazing.
about 10 years.
Yeah, amazing what a decade can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what I would have done.
There we go.
Okay, Chinese battalions.
Still no Russians, though.
No.
And we're gonna show this destruction in a montage. Montage.
That's okay. Super speed jets with American markings.
Heh. And especially with English?
Yes.
Okay, why would the Martians care about the British Isles?
Isolated location would have. I mean, the same.
So's Hawaii.
Well, yes, but there are no major governments in Hawaii. An apology to our Hawaiian listeners. I'm amazed of that. You know, you would think the Martians would have made a specific effort to land in Washington.
Or maybe they were looking to try and demoralize the Americans just for fun, because it's not like our defenses were doing much of anything.
True.
They could just be fucking with us. Uh-huh. Well, that's not a surprise.
Now,
I can't make out anything on this.
I know. We could be seeing.
Like, what is this? What is this supposed to represent? Besides, we're fucked. Like, I gathered that.
I wonder what would have happened if he had said, "Okay, I still need convincing." Look at all those markings in Australia.
Holy Jesus.
I mean, I think it's safe.
Oh wait, I think I understand. So Australia is the largest isolated landmass. They probably thought to themselves, and it has a major government. Hello, Australia. So they probably figured, if we just put a little extra effort there, we could get that one knocked out. I wonder if Australia was supposed to be their first base, I guess.
Major base.
Yeah. And he's still in the square dancing outfit.
Very useful.
Mm-hmm.
Ah!
How are they primitive?
The blood cells are primitive, so she's presuming that the entire Martian organism is primitive.
Well, that's an assumption that pulled out of her ass.
That was...
Read all about it. Martians are primitive.
Everyone relax.
Also, speaking as someone whose primary job is getting shit to talk to other shit, this is bullshit. Like, I have enough problem with the same piece of equipment with different firmware. Like, this is just, no.
But they're scientists.
Fuck you. Oh. Unless it's a straight, simple mechanical device where it's a lens transmitting light down a tunnel. In which case, like, that is very primitive. So the lady at the microscope was right.
Now,
And I don't understand this line here.
He's
why?
He's a sadist. He's...
Gee. I wasn't aware she needed permission to leave. Like, goddamn.
That's Anne Cody playing the female scientist Dr. Dupree. Until Kate Reed comes along years later in the Andromeda Strain, she's my favorite female scientist. Oh, and speaking
That's a
of...
movie we should do sometime.
What? Favorite...
The Andromeda Stand was pretty good.
Yes, okay, that I can accept that.
Well, I'm glad.
Well, and speaking of favorites, here's The Flying Wing.
I don't think I could be a jet Air Force pilot.
Oh?
Or a pilot in general.
Oh?
Well, I mean, if you fuck up just a little bit, you're dead. I feel if I was captaining a giant battleship, I have more maneuver time to not fuck up. Whereas with a jet, if I cough and accidentally move the stick to the left, and I'm in a tailspin heading towards the ground.
I once saw a greeting card which said, "Don't worry about traveling. New planes don't crash very often." And you open the card and it says, "It only crashes once."
Yeah. And this is when the Martians decide to hit the gas and suddenly just go vroom.
I have access to a computer program that will let you place a marker over any point of the world, select any kind of nuclear weapon explosive force, and set it off on that map, and it would show you areas of destruction. And
you realize you're on a list now, right?
This website's open to anyone. It's kind of a
right. Very good. And how do you find this website?
I go to Wikipedia, like everybody else.
Oh.
But anyway, I recreated this
You're on a
bomb.
list.
I recreated this
I
bomb.
disavow.
All right.
Anyway, go ahead.
No, I recreated this bomb explosion based on what they were talking about the warhead, and I actually worked out the location. And I have.
And LA is actually vaporized?
Not all of LA. Most of East LA receives at least serious radiation damage, and those people who are patiently waiting up in the mountains, they're fried. They might as well not even bother going home. Give me a moment, I'll even give you the URL of the website if you want
No,
to.
thank you. No, don't put it in our Discord either. Just...
Or you can write me, care of Lost Podcast of Titan at gmail.com, and I'd be more than happy. It's an interesting website.
Yeah, I might need a security clearance one day for my job. I don't need to explain why I have a URL I have enough URLs in my history that I need to gloss over as it is. I don't need one explaining yes, if I dropped a bomb here or I blew up a bomb here. So this wasn't the scariest part of the movie for me as a kid, but this was the most visceral oh shit.
Yeah, but I'll point out something in a little bit that will give you something to ponder.
Oh, okay. All right. Kablooey! And they're all dead.
Or blind, at least at initially.
Actually, if I recall correctly, you could close your eyes while facing a nuclear explosion, and that wouldn't really help. You really do need to turn away. And cover your face and all that shit.
Yeah, we had to learn the duck and cover routine when I was in elementary school back during the 60s.
Same. We had duck and cover. Duck, cover, and kiss your ass goodbye, yeah.
Yeah, now watch. Pay close attention here.
All right, I'm paying close attention.
Wait for it. Do you see the smoke touching the Martian war machine?
Yeah.
So the electronic blister isn't keeping that at bay?
It could be that it just automatically turns on when it senses an attack coming.
My guess is that the bomb blast was sufficient to temporarily overload their force fields.
Or, oh wait, okay, so they sensed the danger coming and turned on their blisters preemptively. What if they laid mines?
Thank you. In fact, I made a point of mentioning that in the first magazine sale I ever made, and that was in Starlog 117, the April 87 edition.
Ah, the collector's item.
Well, one would hope. Maybe this will help, but yeah, I mean, the Martians move so slow. You could bury mines and bury the electrical wiring and have them detonated remotely. Yes, Miss Biological Scientist, and why didn't you think of that?
Awoga.
Abandoned
Why- and
ship.
They are just now abandoning Los Angeles.
I know. Why are these people still in the city? They are? What? Martians? When? I mean, the obvious fact that they witnessed an A-bomb explosion to the east apparently wasn't enough to warn them.
Yeah. Also, apparently during this time there was. Were you told what radio station to tune into in case of an attack?
I don't think back then they had Conelrad as of yet. But sure.
No. I mean, like, not Conelrad. I'm talking about like, if there's ever an attack, you're supposed to tune into a station that will tell you what to do.
Yeah. But apparently even that wasn't enough to get people started. I would have been out of L.A. before the bomb was dropped.
And I used to mod my Fallout games for some extra radio stations, and one of them was actually it was supposed to be the emergency broadcast radio system of the attack just before the bombs dropped and all that shit. So it was nothing but the warnings, where you need to go, all that shit. And it was very, very fucking creepy, even though it was, official.
And the Army or anyone else couldn't spare one teeny tiny helicopter to airlift the scientists?
The Martians might be so close that that's dangerous.
True. I mean, at this point, you'll
Also,
notice we no longer have any type of military response being offered.
Exactly. And she can drive a bus. God damn. She is a woman of talents.
Time to raid the fridge.
Actually, yeah, what is that?
Biological samples to help in their research. That's his story. And everyone drove off and left him.
Yeah, naturally. Or maybe he was supposed to be driving that truck. The fuck are you doing? And you? Holy shit, he almost... Wait, goddamn.
Well, frankly, I would not have blamed him if he ran those people over. If by now you're still in Los Angeles, then I have no sympathy for you. Him I can understand. Him I can understand because they were moving some supplies, but like these people... And they're just now arriving at that realization.
Yep.
Did he have to drive through downtown L.A.?
He might not have been expecting this to happen.
Ugh. Such innocence.
Oh.
I'm surprised the cat is... all cats by now should have long ago left.
Why would they leave?
Martians.
Are they aware of the Martians?
They're aware that no one's hanging around to give them food.
Wait, why is he wearing a suit and not a uniform? Is he undercover?
You mean the guards?
Yeah.
Those weren't military guards, that's civil defense. If you joined civil defense, or at least back during the 60s version, you were handed a helmet and maybe a matching pair of gloves, and that's about it. What is he running away with?
Drapes. I don't understand. I really don't.
I'm sure you could have if you've left earlier.
Well, no one was leaving earlier. That's the problem.
And yeah, since all the vehicles have been grabbed, could he not find a bicycle?
Those have been grabbed as well, I imagine.
Is he looking for a trail of breadcrumbs?
Tick tock.
It's time to leave Los Angeles.
No, time is almost up for humanity. See, I'm clever. Ha ha ha.
They could have had a sign in the window, special Martian invasion sale. Oh dear.
Or you think the military would have given them escorts?
Yes, thank you.
Hold on, wait a minute. Are we going through downtown LA? We're not going to have a classic shot of the Hollywood Hills sign being torched?
Good point.
You think
That would have been an obvious
the writers,
target.
the writers would have been like, oh, yes, symbolism. Pew, 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 pew. Why the hell did it explode? You think it would melt?
Okay, I'm running my mind at high speed and not coming up with anything. Apologies to our audience.
Maybe it was superheating the air inside the stone or the concrete and it just exploded?
Maybe. I do know that shot of the Los Angeles City Hall was swiped later on for the Ray Harryhausen film Earth versus the Flying Saucers.
Not surprised. Let's hammer in the symbolism.
Which is
So
interesting.
God was so just and merciful that he let a third of the earth get cooked and then decided to stop.
No, but this is interesting because H.G. Wells was an atheist.
Yeah, but the writers and producers and their target audience were not. And this is to make money, not make a point.
Because we were too stupid to leave L.A.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure some church sent out a crucifix and a portable altar into the mountains.
Yeah, but people coming to the mountains can't tithe.
Oh, well, they're certainly going to get a basket full now.
Pew pew. No Hollywood sign yet. Okay, damn. I mean, the Hollywood sign did exist in 1953, right?
I believe so.
Okay, all right.
See, now they're just firing at random, scattering the remaining population.
Yeah.
Dear God, forgive me for being an idiot and not getting out of town like everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Hollywood sign was completed in 1923. Okay, all right. So
I had a feeling that those two had a thing going.
I can believe it. I'm sure she puts her own Library of Science degree to good use.
Now Sylvia had made a big point about finding refuge in a church, but I wonder if he also considered the possibility she'd be hiding out in the library.
Oh, next to all the flammable material, you mean? Oh wait, no, that fits her. Okay, never mind. Library of Science degree. She's perfectly. Uh, that's a good spot.
Someone with a Library of Science degree would know where the fire extinguishers were.
Not next to all the tinder. Just call out Sylvia, my dude.
During a church service, have you no respect? Oh, well, there he goes.
No. I really don't have much respect for somebody asking me for 10% off the top. For reasons.
Actually, I give him credit for actually managing to find her.
No, I don't see this happening. But we have to have a happy ending.
And that's why I always wait for a thank you, Masked Man.
Kajoosh. Oh. And this is why I don't stand in large buildings of stone during Martian invasions. It's safe in the Venus invasions, but not Martian invasions.
Notice how it's crashing into the
Oh, look
phones.
at those wires. Oh, wait, those
Yeah.
are telephone wires. Never mind.
Yes, it's called Crasher Model into the Wires.
So, do you consider this a Deus Ex Mechanica ending here?
Well, it was Deus Ex Mechanica back when Wells wrote it. And
Or was it? Yeah, but was that so then as well? Because we are
Yes.
literally like, hold on. We are about 3 minutes from this movie ending, and now the Martians are dead. Just, whoops, crash, dead, over. No foreshadowing. No hint.
Now, does it strike you as odd that the Martians, with their technology, never took into account the fact that they would be exposing themselves to the microbiotic life in the Earth's atmosphere?
Which is one reason why I consider this as kind of a Deus Ex Mechanica ending.
I speculated that maybe these weren't real Martians. These were sort of low-level clones sent as an invading force. But the Martians who sent them had miscalculated, and they were programmed to die just after they had managed to clear off or kill the majority of humans. But the Martians who sent them miscalculated about the strength of our bacteria and sent them too early, or didn't make them give them enough of a lifeline to enable them to finish their work.
So like a Blade Runner situation where they only have a limited time span.
Right. Haha, snuck up on you. Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
Nothing gets past him.
Ugh. Also, speaking of foreign bacteria, wouldn't
Yeah,
they also have foreign bacteria?
that might have worked both ways. I really wouldn't be touching that.
And also, how do you know it has a pulse? And that's where the pulse is.
And the arm suddenly becomes active, grabs him. Ah, hostage!
I have you right where I want you. Next to my crashed war machine. God damn it. This plan didn't work out as well as I hoped it would.
Now tell all those Protestants to clear out while we take over.
This is the planet of Catholics, god damn it.
Some nice scenes here.
Yeah. See, and I'd have a stinger where, the credits roll. We go back to Dr. Forrester, slow pan in. All of a sudden, he starts to cough a bit, shakes it off, goes back to what he was doing, then coughs again, and then looks up at the camera in slow realization that if this is true for the Martians, this is also true for them.
I have lost track of how many times I've seen this movie.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Yeah, I could play it in my head if I really wanted to. So
True. But yes, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. The classic War of the Worlds. One of the finest science fiction films ever made.
yeah, I mean, it gave us a lot of things. Just the eerie look of the Martians, really cool kind of sound effects that basically became the sound of heat rays for about 30 years. Like, I'm fairly certain I can find the heat ray shooting sound from a dozen other movies.
It won the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects that year, and in 2011 it was selected by the United States National Film Registry and the Library of Congress being deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
Culturally, historically, or aesthetically. I wonder what they would qualify as aesthetically. Interesting.
Uh,
Let me see.
Kubrick's Lolita?
No. Aesthetically interesting films in the, what was it? United States Film Institute?
National Film Registry of the Library of Congress.
National Film Registry, Library of Congress. What does that qualify?
It was probably Sylvia who threw in the deciding vote.
Huh. Let's see. Oh wait, I wonder if I can actually watch the movie. Holy shit, I can actually watch every movie that is in the collection?
Yeah,
Wait, what?
if you know where to go.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
In fact, I'm now looking at the list of National Film
Here we go,
Registry
digital
film.
collections. Let's see.
Let's see. A Clockwork Orange, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Animal House.
Here we go. 26 films we can probably watch online, I think. Maybe?
The Day the
No?
Earth Stood Still, Die Hard,
Selections. Oh, here we go. Selections from the National Film Registry. Bam. The River, All My Babies, A Corner in Wheat. Interesting.
Enter the Dragon, THX 1138. The original George Powell short, not the cinematic release film. Ferris Bueller's Day
Popeye
Off.
the Sailor meets Sinbad the Sailor.
Yes.
I am not seeing the same things you are seeing.
I'm on the
Yeah.
Wikipedia page, United States National Film Registry Films.
Oh, I'm actually looking at the digital collections on the government website where I could
Oh,
actually
okay.
watch this shit. But there's only about 60. Hold on. 66 films available, and most of them are the silent era shit. But they do have Popeye the Sailor, House I Live in, Memphis Blue, Flying Fortress. So that's some interesting things.
Yeah.
Oh. But would you make any changes to the film as it stood?
Oh, big man with a tough question.
That's right.
I
Our audience demands the high level caliber thinking that we can sometimes provide.
yeah, accidentally. I it'd be difficult for me to find some obvious way to improve the film. Maybe I could have done a little bit something more with the non-Martian scenes.
Also known as the filler.
Yeah, the useless stuff that people went back for some more popcorn or something. Because I think they did a nice job of adapting H.G. Wells' original story. They actually, borrowed some of the text from the book.
Mm.
Yes, I'm looking at you right now, Steven Spielberg. No,
I might have dropped Dr. Dupree and made his main squeeze the scientist in question and give her a more medical science background, which could explain why she was the nurse. It can also give her the opportunity to be the one who studies the blood and hopefully deals a bit with the hysteria.
that would have been a bit too convenient.
Says the man who just watched as the Martian war machines crashed because Martians forgot about bacteria.
Well, I don't want to dump on Anne Robinson, but
I'll dump on her.
no. But when you have Gene Barry's character, Dr. Forrester, shows up to examine a small town to examine the meteor that's just fallen. You don't think it would be too much of a coincidence that the nice girl he meets also has a medical degree and could recognize primitive anemic blood when she sees it?
We could deal without the primitive anemic blood. She could be studying the blood, and she could make a note how she doesn't see nowhere near as many antibodies, white blood cells, or anything as we should be, and maybe make an offhand comment how their medical science shit it might be to such a point that their bodies no longer need it, and we just leave it at that. And that could perfectly foreshadow then the ending without giving it away too quickly. See, I'm just fixing shit left and right here.
If my job was to fix films, I've got a ton that I think deserve more.
Oh, I'm not saying that this really needs that much of a fixing, and that there aren't many other candidates who would be much more deserving of our special, delicate attentions. But
maybe find a newspaper vendor who can properly pronounce the word Miami.
no, I'm keeping her. She is thematically, aesthetically, and culturally relevant. All right. But that is where we will leave you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the show, and that you
I have
will
problems.
join us again next time.
Yes, I have problems. If you didn't enjoy the show, seeing as how we were dealing with a really schmoozy film.
Take care, folks. We'll see you next time.
Behave.